back to another top selling non-sports cards on eBay. We're going to take a look at April 2025. Rules for the video 2000 earlier, no duplicates and graded and raw cards are okay. Let's jump right into it. We're going to start off with a 1966 Lost in Space. In fact, there's a set break this month, and you're going to see quite a few of these. This is card number 45. The Stranger Helps us sold for $1,398. Up next, we have Victim of the Crash, card number 23 in a PSA 10. This one sold for $1,482. We have a 1940 Superman, card number 72. Superman versus Torpedo. One of these last 12 high numbers within here. This copy over here sold for $1,499 in a 3. I believe these are about a third of the value of card number 1, but it's the second most popular card in the set. All right, Mars Attack, The Invasion Begins, card number 1 in the set. One of the iconic images in over here. This in a 6 sold for $1,500. Another Lost in Space. This is Shock Landing. It got a PSA 9 grade and it sold for $1,577. I assume this is a much tougher card to find in a 9 than the others in a 10, but still a very high price for the set break. Trapped, card number 15 in a PSA 10, and this one sold for $1,580. In the number 19 spot, we have Ground Trembles, card number 31 in a PSA 10, and this one sold for $1,603. All right, we have a Sea Raiders card, and I'm actually not too familiar with this one. It sold for $1,626. So for those that are more of an expert on the set, why did John Martle, I think that's the pronunciation, sell for so much? Typically, I know Blackbeard sells for a premium seam with the map, but I wasn't familiar with this card, so please let me know because I don't have any experience with it. We have a 1924 Albert Einstein Theory of Relativity from Milhoff Minute of Genius, and this one sold for $1,700. Looks like a pretty nice copy. Grading wise, assuming that there's no issues in the back, I think this could get a 5, maybe a 6, which could be a pretty good value play based off of that sale. And if you want to learn even more about Einstein cards, I have a full video on the channel that I made a few months ago. Not many people watched that video, but I put a ton of effort into it. We have a 1966 ABC Gum Face of the Joker. Now, there's a few different versions of ABC Gum 66 of Batman cards, whether it's fan club or not. Also, I believe there's a Dutch back. This one over here sold for $1,720, one of the more iconic cards in the set. Sea Raiders, I mentioned that a little bit earlier here, is Blackbeard. Really strong 1/5. I'm shocked this got a 1/5 grade. I wonder if there's something wrong with the back on this card. Don't have the back here available. And I believe actually someone from the channel sold this card and reached out on that over Facebook. If I do miss any big sales in these videos, please let me know. This one sold for $1,750. Number 14 is Silence from Earth, card number 8 in a PSA 10. Another one of these, $1,880. Number 13, I do know a subscriber to the channel sold this one. We're actually talking about this when I was over in Europe recently. Mickey Mouse and Walt Disney in an 8. I believe you mentioned that 8s typically go for about $3,000. So this was a very low price on this 8. It seems like a lot of these wheels Disney's have been populating. I didn't pick up any this year when I went over to Europe. Last year I picked up, I want to say, 6 of these. No 8s. They were all like mid-grade copies, but 2,000 on this sale. And again, if you want to learn even more about this set, I have a video here on the channel. We have another Batman card, 1966 Batman A series, the Batline Life. And this is in a PSA 10. Sorry, the Batline Lifeline. I was trying to read the text like here, and it's just literally right there. But this one sold for $2,161. A lot of people for the registry on the set, and they pay up. Number 11, Prize Captive Person. I think this is the best card in the Mars Attack set. I'm not too sure on the comp side of things, but very iconic imagery. This one sold for $22.13.93. Let's jump into some honorable mentions, and then we'll jump into our top 10, which is loaded with some historical figures. But I want to say also that this video is sponsored by Check Out My Cards. They're a channel sponsor and actually buy a lot of non-sports cards on Comc, and you can see a picture of the non-sports page from the 1960s. And if you guys want to check out Comc or my portfolio on Comc, which is loaded with non-sports cards, I have a link down below in the description. Feel free to reach out if you ever want to start a Comc account. I know there's other people that watch the videos on the channel that have started Comc accounts and have upgraded into cards and sold some other stuff as well. Really awesome platform. And also we have a vintage non-sports Facebook group if you want to join that one as well. All right, we're going to start off with a complete set of 1966 Topps USA Batman. And this one sold for $5,850. Up next, we have a Garbage Pails set with the 88 cards graded with an 8.55 GPA average. This one sold for $5,000. Very high grade set, but you typically find these in 8 to 10s all the time. Well, not necessarily 10s, but you do find a lot of 8s out there and 9s. I literally just sold an 8 on Comc from 1985. We have a uncut sheet from 1985 over here. You can see this over there. It sold for $2,777. I believe Atom Bomb should be there, and you can see right there, 1, 2. Oh, there's a ton of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all on one sheet, which is pretty cool. We have a 1966 Topps Batman uncut panel with full Robin back art plus others. That's what the image on here was, and this sold for $1,350. We have an original artwork in Space Cards, number 33, First Men on the Moon from 1957. Really awesome. Obviously, this was not how we landed on the moon, but it's a pretty cool artwork. And this one sold for $1,250. Another honorable mention, Julius Caesar in an 8 from Kenny Bros. We'll see a lot of Kenny Bros later. $1,329. I think this was a pretty good price in comparison to some of the other Kenny Bros sales, but you'll see that a little bit later. Another Lost in Space, The Terrible Sight, card number 38. And this one sold for $1,302. The Giant Threadens, $1,352, card number 40. Up next, we have a 1959 Three Stooges of Mo card number 2 in a PSA 8. This one sold for $1,259. We have a Spider-Man, Next Time I'll Fly the Kite, one of his, I believe, 2 cards within this 1966 Donruss Marvel set. This one in a 7 sold for $1,233. Three Stooges of Curly, this one over here sold for $1,200. Strong price, looks decent. It does look like there's some type of imprint over here, possibly, but this is my first comparison of this image. A 1935 Mickey Mouse. He's sure a handyman around the mouse, one of the iconic images in the set. There's actually quite a few in that set. This sold for $1,175. And then we're taking a look at a Superman 1940 card number 62 in a 6, which you barely see these in 6 grades. Really, really nice copy over here. Sold for $1,000. Luke Skywalker autograph. Again, another thing we don't see that often. This specific card being autographed, the iconic Luke Skywalker card is signed all the time, but Luke prepares for the battle. Haven't seen this one signed here yet on the channel. $950 for that copy. Thomas Jefferson, 1932 U.S. Caramel in a blue and a 4. This is a crazy high price in my opinion. $725. I've not seen that type of sale for a Thomas Jefferson in a 4. Usually I thought these would be $300 to $400. So pretty high price spike on that one. But blues are pretty tough to come across. 1933 Sea Raiders, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Cracked slab on this one, it looks like. But people know this famously from the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. I think that's where it's from as well. $680 for this copy. This is a Spider-Man versus Venom. I believe someone mentioned that this is like an error print on here. Maybe it's something on the back or something like that. It sold for $500. I believe this is the last honorable mention, but it's a N22 Kenny Bros. Another one of these Martha Washington in the 6, $575. Let's jump into our top 10. We're going to start off with Napoleon in an 8. And this is why I was saying the Caesar was cheap. I think Napoleon's a little bit more popular than Caesar, but they're pretty close, at least personally when selling some cards. This one sold for $2,376. Next, we have another registry card, 1966 Batman Target of the Trapper. This one sold for $2,500. Skiing is something I will never do again. Wasn't a huge fan of that. Alexander the Great in an 8. This one shocked me because I would have thought Napoleon, then Caesar, then Alexander the Great. Obviously, the famous Iron Maiden song. This one sold for $2,696. Other thing to mention is maybe this card has a lot less 8s out there. I'm not looking at the pop report right now, so let me know. We have 1990 Topps Bartman sticker in a 10. Yeah, I'm not too sure why this one sold for $2,750. Please let me know. I do know about the famous illustration within the set, but this seems really high for this card unless there is like very few stickers that are graded 10s, which could be the case. But yeah, let's jump into number 6, which is Blackbeard 1948 Leaf Pirates. So this was all over Facebook in a 9, sold for $3,801. Number 5, we have a Titanic in a 5. This is a card I wish I upgraded a long time ago. Personally, my copy is a 2. This is a very, very clean looking 5, and someone paid up for it pretty nicely on that one. Number 4 is a U.S. Grant in an 8. No surprises why this one sold for a ton. Although, if you go back a few years, you could have probably grabbed this for like $500. I want to say I went to a national once, and there's a Grant in like a 6 or 7 for $400 or $500. I passed on. I should have just bought it. My Grant, I think, is a 4, or maybe it's a 5. I can't remember, but $3,861. We have a Garbage Pail Kids card number 29, and this one sold for $5,000 in a 10. These 10s can be tough, and a lot of registry collectors for these. Number 2, 1940 Superman card number 1 in a PSA 2 grade. This is a nicer 2 than a lot of the ones I've seen personally. Very close to a 2.5 in my opinion on it. I would have graded, I probably would have given it a 2.5, maybe even a 3, although centering is to be desired. And I'm not looking at the back or anything like that. I'm just saying based off of a lot of the other 2s and 3s that I've seen sell. This one sold for $5,295. Number 1 sale this week. Let's take a look at it. Well, not this week, but this month. A Luke Skywalker, the one we always see signed, in a SGC 9.5. This one sold on Check Out My Cards, $7,189.77. Thanks, guys, for checking out this video. I'm going to put my non-sports educational playlist here on the screen right now, so if you guys want to check that out, and I will catch you guys in those videos.